And I guess we can start. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, good luck.
Thanks, man. Oh, first thing first, this first track can be annoying. It's pretty simple, but it is a very narrow track, so I have a lot of difficulty to avoid some CPUs. And it has extra obstacles on championship, like the ones you are seeing now. So a lot of times I don't have much else to do than hit the other CPUs. It's pretty boring. Also, you'll see that I'll use a nitro almost every time I start a track. Oh man, I was careless here. Because the nitro is a lot useful for the acceleration. Like the red car I already said that has the lowest acceleration. So it's very useful to already start with the nitro. Most cases, some tracks I don't use it because the track has some nasty turns in the beginning. But I'll explain when I get to that. And also, the fourth gear I was talking about, it's because for some reason the red car achieves its top speed on fourth gear. Yeah, it's pretty strange. I don't know why they programmed the car like that. So when you use manual, you can force the car to keep in the lower gears for more time, then get a much better acceleration than you would get on auto gears. The only downside of this is that the car wastes a lot more fuel because the revs are a lot higher. Then you have to be careful in tracks that you have to pit stop. But in most of the tracks that have 3 or 4 laps, you can use it whenever you want. I'm used to let fourth gear until we are like 220 or 230 kilometers per hour. We have to do some math to figure out how many miles per hour it is that. And the fifth gear basically here is used for nitros because for some reason you have a lot better acceleration using nitros when you are in fifth gear than the other ones. You can see that whenever I start with a nitro, I force the fifth gear as soon as possible because even going from 0, if you have fifth gear and a nitro, you get a better acceleration. And yeah, it's a lot of speed here. And now you can already see how slowpoke our little friend CPU is down there. It's not even in second, so it's pretty it's pretty boring having to wait.
Yeah, it was a little bit unlucky that he got the white car instead of the other two, because the other two have a little bit better top speed. The white car is faded, or at least it's not going to pass 240 kilometers per hour on its max speed. So during some races, like Las Vegas, for example, it's going to get a lot of speed in the huge straight coming up, and the white car is going to stay really, really far back.
Yeah, I'm not having a lot of luck here in my first starts, but it is pretty much possible to avoid all the cars if you get a little used to the game. Even in these tracks that like this one that the track is a lot wider, you can avoid them with more ease. And I'm screwing up at the worst time possible, because if I hit a car early, when I still have the nitro running, I do not lose that much speed. But when I hit the car when the nitro ended, then I don't have the acceleration boost of the nitro anymore, so it ends up losing a lot of more time. Oh, come on. Sometimes they combo me. And
Yeah,
the CPU they can pretty much spawn in any point of the track. And they can spawn in 2 or 3 at once. There's not much of a pattern, a fixed pattern that you have.
yeah, even let's say the turning speed of the computer cars, they are not fixed, so sometimes you have to adapt to it. Especially during a large turn, you really need to understand how fast it's going to slide across the lanes and where you should go to avoid cars. This track is probably it's the first one with pit stop.
Yes.
It's pretty simple. Pretty wide turns.
Okay, now I got my first. Sorry. It's because I got my first perfect start. I didn't hit a single car.
Yeah, this track has a lot of obstacles. There's rocks everywhere. There's like the signs that will close all the lanes besides the middle one in some parts. It's really chaotic. And it's really good that he got past all the opponents right off the bat, because this way they don't block you during some of the tighter sections of the track. Now it's just a cruise to the finishing line, and maybe we'll be even seeing the red car overlapping the white car. So maybe we'll see that.
Now, one thing I even fourth gear being better in these tracks with pit stop, I want to avoid using fourth gear as much as I can, because it wastes so much more fuel, and you have to stop, that you have to refuel more in pit stop. So sometimes I prefer to just lose some time in acceleration but save fuel. And here I didn't have I couldn't do anything. He spawned in a way that I couldn't avoid. It's really boring.
Something that it's going to pop up real soon. It's the fuel low sign. Oh, it already did. During the fuel low sign, or this small amount of fuel that you have, they give you a small boost in acceleration and maybe top speed. So it's like the game trying to give you that extra boost to get to the pit stop as quick as possible to save yourself the running out of fuel, which is basically game over.
Now it's the first time you can see how the screen goes a lot smoother when the other car is speeding. It's really insane. That's how the game should run if it was only one player, but well, we have to do split screen every time.
Yeah, this game is basically a huge lag festival. It's really heavy. Thankfully, there is not much input delay, so it's really decent to play with this game, even on the tougher tracks like Machu Picchu that's coming up on the next cup. And I totally missed the Las Vegas time, I'm sorry. You have to look
So
at the VOD later.
as you can already see, I almost lapped the CPU in this track, just to show how much slower he can go. First thing, he doesn't ever use nitros. I don't know why the hell the programmers didn't set the CPU to use nitros. So it starts with this and then goes absurdly slower. Oh, now Rio. Besides being
Rio de Janeiro.
besides being a track that it's on our country, I find it very difficult. It's kinda hard to avoid the cars. The track is narrow most of the times. It has a lot of obstacles.
Using Nitro right at the beginning is really difficult because it's a really sharp 180 turn, and then after you pass the tunnel, you have the pit stop that eats 1.5 lanes. So it's really difficult to avoid not hitting a car using the nitro. So he saves up the nitro for a later section of the first lap.
Until now, this track is going pretty bad. I'm having a pretty rough spawn of the CPUs here.
And this track also is the first track that features the dirt sections, which is basically you have very little grip with any of the cars. So if you enter the dirt section in a particular lane, you're pretty much stuck with it until you exit the section of dirt. And that is good and bad. Good because the head car doesn't have grip, so if the game does the turning for us, that's always good. But if an opponent spawns right on top of you, it's basically almost impossible to avoid it.
Oh my goodness, this is... I'm playing really bad at this track.
Good example.
I'm playing really bad. Let's hope I don't get disqualified. But I guess it should be fine. If you... I don't know if the Top Gear 2 run, if they comment anything, you have to... In Top Gear 2, if you get 10th or... Oh my god, I forgot to... I was counting the fuel. I guess I refueled much more than I should fuel. But in Top Gear 2, if you get 10th or right or higher, you're safe. In this game, you have to get 5th or higher, so it's pretty damn hard sometimes. Oh.
Yeah, it's better for you to try to concentrate on this.
This track is pretty annoying.
It's going really bad. It is one of the hardest tracks. It is one of the hardest cups in general, the South American Cup.
My goodness.
Both the first and the last track are really difficult. The goal for him is to beat at least the white car. There is a way to get the way the game checks if you are in 5th or higher is with checking how many points you acquired. So there is a glitch that you can do on the last lap. If you hit the ending sign of the pole in a very specific angle, you will pass the line, the finish line, then you're going to bounce back and then you pass it a second time. And by doing that, you acquire the score for both places. So if you're in sixth place, you get the score for both 6th and 7th place, and that is enough to get you to the 5th position. So basically saving yourself the disqualification. But it's really difficult to execute, and there there's like no benefit besides this one to use it, and most of the time you are usually in first place unless a race goes really bad.
Okay, I barely got
Like
it.
this one did.
I got fourth.
Good job.
Sorry, guys, because this is the worst reel I had in some runs. I didn't have a bad reel track right like I did now. I don't know what happened. I was simply sucking. Sorry for that.
Yeah, the time went too fast there. It went to black and I couldn't get the time as well.
No
It
problem.
was a 4:36. We'll see the VOD later. This is Machu Picchu. This is a very interesting track, not because of its shape, but because it has like several turns that goes right into another, and it's basically a really difficult track because in this track there is this thing called blind spots. Like during, if you see on the top right, you see the kilometer checker, the velocity checker, and like the time. You see the acceleration bar, and that completely blocks your view when you're turning to the right. And in this track where you go up and down in height, if a car falls right into the middle of the turn, it's really difficult to see. So it's a lot of reflexes, and it's also a far left track, which is one of the rare occasions that you have a track with more than 3 laps and 0 pit stops. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. You have a pretty nice, let's say, downhill section where you can get a lot of speed near to the ending, the finishing point of the other starting point of the race. So it's pretty good.
Also, for the turns, I don't use the brakes. I just tap the acceleration button or let it go for a second or so. As long as I let go of the acceleration button, the car turns a lot better. It doesn't matter how much speed you have, it will start turning a lot better the moment you release the acceleration button, so you don't really have to brake to make the turns. Well, at least now Chichen Itza, it's a very... It's a track that doesn't have a lot of challenges. At least not when the CPU is blocking like this way.
Yeah, the main challenge in the first lap is trying to avoid the other cars during this huge dirt section. This is probably the only race where you have pretty much the 80-90% of the track is in the dirt, so you really need to pay attention to which speed the cars are going through the lanes and where you need to go to avoid them. But after you get the first place, it's basically breeze all the way to the victory line. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't test a lot to be 100% sure of this, but since the CPUs of the championship level are faster, I guess the traffic is a little easier to avoid, because when you play in amateur, the CPU you got in traffic is so slow sometimes you don't have time to avoid them. You had to be a godlike in reflexes to avoid them. And when they spawn in group, it's practically impossible.
And also something that we mentioned a little bit earlier, the fact that the white car will never go past that 240 meter top speed, and even when he get like 245, he never goes much more than that. He always slow down a little bit and never goes higher than that top speed. So for us that are going easily 280 kilometers per hour at every moment, it's makes the game really strange, and I don't know.
Yeah, even going with the white car getting into the 240s, 230s, you can't get that much speed when you play with the white car. So the CPU already cheats a little. The car goes a lot faster than it should go. But when I get the nitro boost and I can keep the speed, and with the downhill boost on my speed too, I get easily to the 280s, even to 300. So it's really faster. There's no way the CPU can keep up with me. But in some tracks that they have a lot of sharp turns that I have to keep my speed down for a long time to make the turns, then the CPU he can keep up with you more easily. Now Rainforest, you'll see the first meme we created for this game. It's the save the trees sign, because as you can see, you have huge save the trees signs in the corner of the tracks, but there are not really many trees here. I don't know if it's an irony or just a joke. Maybe they.
Yeah, I guess it's it's like reflecting the fact that there's so much afforestation in the rainforest here, and maybe they trying to get all environmentalists. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the real meme about it is the huge ripped boxes of these signs. It takes almost half of the lane, and if you're just close to it, you just lose all of your speed. So back when we started playing this game for the first time, like doing SRL races with other Brazilian speedrunners, this was like one of the biggest points where there were like resets and failures because of these huge signs, and they would drove people mad all over the place. And we made a meme out of it, made emotes and everything. It was a pretty interesting idea. Also, back in the day, we were used to play on RTA timing. So before Fizzle invited us for this tournament, we were like in RTA timing, which is basically a huge RNG problems, because you are completely dependent on the computer card to finish really fast. And we even tried like to create the strategies and even like, I don't know, try to make the car go faster. Like you slow down a little bit, let it go after, and then start to use a nitro right behind him to make him get a huge boost of speed, and then hope that he's not going to crash anywhere and like finish really fast. But RTA started to get really tiring, because most of the time it's not like the player's skill or ability like to reflex and not hitting any car, maintaining speed really fast. It was all about the computer car finishing quickly, because he was the biggest hurdle of the game. Then after Fizzle invited us, we started looking more into the game, and we decided like to use in-game time instead, because that shifted the focus from really huge RNG dependency to more skill focused gameplay. now the only time that matters is yours, not the computer. So it's much more interesting to play. And now instead of using the white car to keep up to have like the computer have a faster car than yours, now we can use the head car. We can use manual to go even faster and have a more skillful gameplay and be definitely more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, this track right now, if you could see in the beginning, is Tokyo. It is a pretty long track. It has 7 laps. It's almost sure that you have to do 2 stops with the red car because the fuel consumption is so high. But I'm trying to do 1 stop here. That's why I kept for 5th gear for almost all of the time. So I'll see now if I can get it. Well, I guess I can barely get it. I'll try. If I cannot make it, I'll just reset. So because this is the first track of the country, so I wouldn't lose much time if I game over here. If it was the last one I would have to do the entire country again, so it would be a huge time loss. I would not be risking too much. But I guess I can barely make it. Yeah. Just when I had 0 fuel. I see the chat is talking about Brazil. Yeah, this game is a lot popular in Brazil for some reason. It's a mix, I think, about the soundtrack. The soundtrack became, I guess, almost every people that lived the SNES era when he or she was a child here knows the Top Gear soundtrack. And I don't know if in the US is like that. So that's why we got the game to run a little while ago. It's not that interesting as a speedrun if you compare to a lot of other games you can do, because it's pretty much only reflexes and you have to memorize the tracks, but it's not that hard. But I have a lot of fun with it. It was my favorite racing game when I had a SNES.
Yeah, racing games were really popular. Some of the reasons were mentioned in chat, like they had really great racing runners, like in Formula 1, like Ayrton Senna.
Yeah.
Like even Barrichello was mildly famous and even popular as well. Fittipaldi was also a great name. And that really inspired people to buy racing games, and like games like Top Gear, Rock'n'Roll Racing, which I don't know if you should mention, and Bike Masters from Mars also. Oh, Nice Bikers, I don't remember the name of the game, were really popular here.
Yeah, I guess this game is in the early 90s when it was released. So it was the time when Formula 1 was really having lots and lots of audience around Brazil because of Ayrton Senna. We had previous champions like Piquet and Emerson Fittipaldi. And people really loved Formula 1 around here. Everyone woke up early in every morning to watch the races, even when the races were late in the night or after midnight because of the time differences. My dad, he used to watch all of the races, but now I guess almost everyone is a lot less sympathetic about Formula 1. because of the changes in regulations and everything. And now there isn't a real standing, how can I say, Brazilian driver in Formula One anymore. So people around here like to cheer when the guys are winning. It's fine. People here will cheer. But if the guy is second or below, they're trash. It's like it's how our country works. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre personality. I don't know. This track is really fun, the second one in Japan country, because it transitions from night to day. It's the first time you'll see that. You'll see a couple more times later. It's really, really interesting how they did that. And it was really hyped the first time I played this. Like, oh my god, that's so awesome. Yeah, besides the last section of this track, there's like a section with a lot of really sharp turns. The rest of the track's pretty easy. A lot of straights, some really wide turns. And then there's this huge Kenko sign as well, which has a hitbox way larger than it actually shows. So if you're just a little bit closer, you hit that and lose all your speed. Thankfully, Furlim is doing a great job with the turning, or handling in this case.
Yeah, the last turns of this track are the really main problems. But it's not like, it's because in the last turn the track goes narrow at the end, so you can hit the sign if you are to oh my god, the word, I can't find the word.
On the outer section of
Yeah, but I was trying to find another word. Never mind.
Yeah.
If you go too ambitious on it, you want to lose less speed, so you go as far on the outside as you can to not have to let go of the acceleration. You end up hitting that sign, which is pretty bad. And now I just lost to the CPU. I should be pretty ashamed.
Shame for the spray.
Should reset now, Kappa.
No, come on. This track it doesn't show, but on the last straight, there's like this small turn that you have to do it's completely blind. It's right after a uphill section, and if you're not prepared for that, you go straight to the post. It's horrible.
Oh, come on.
You also have some surf resorts signs around the dirt sections. Really interesting.
Yeah. As you can see, I didn't talk much about my nitro strats because I don't have a fixed strat for them. Sometimes I hit way more cars than I wanted, so I end up using all of them early, because using them early, I think it's better because you have less traffic and the other CPU in the better positions, they have more speed, so if you hit them, you don't end up losing that much speed. Then you, oh my goodness, well, now you saw the the first throw of the hitboxes of this game, that little, I don't know, that little bush over there was not inside the track, but somehow I hit it. It's really random. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. The hitbox of this game always amazes me. Yeah, Solaris, the advantage is the car. The red car is undoubtedly the fastest one. It has the faster high speed, and the fast nitro, the boost you get from the nitro is the better. It's the best at it. And you can use manual to have his acceleration better than it really is. So even if he does consume more fuel than the others, has less grip, he's indeed faster. The white car, I would call it the most friendly car because it's easier to control him and to avoid other cars. If you want to just run for fun this game, I should pick it. We even, when we started running this game, we thought that the white car would be better because we did RTA. But if you do compare the in-game times you obtain with the red car on the tracks, they are even faster. Even in the tracks you can skip the pit stop with the white car. You can go faster with the red car with one stop. It's crazy. And I guess if you try to run championship difficulty with the white car, it will be a lot hard because it doesn't have much top speed and the CPUs are a lot faster, so you'll end up having a pretty hard time overtaking them.
Even with rubber banding, the white car struggles to get the second place, so it shows a little bit the high difference in top speeds between the cars and how fast the red car is in comparison to the white.
Billy Bankai, just for example, San Francisco, that is the first track that has pit stop. I can go 20 seconds faster with the red car, even skipping pit stop with the white car. That's the one I remember. I don't remember the others to say to you right now.
But Chichen Itza also you save a good 20 seconds, even though the white car doesn't have to pit stop as well. The red car just maintains the really higher top speed. Like if you play with the white car, you maintain like 230 at most, 220 usually. With the head car, you get like 260, 270, especially on these wider tracks and longer as well. You can really abuse the stop speed.
Yeah, but using red car is a lot harder because it raises your chance. If you mess up and miss the pit stop one lap, you probably can't make another. If you have fuel low, you won't be able to make another lap, so it will be a game over. But we could pit early in some tracks, but having fuel low, while you have fuel low, you have a little boost in acceleration and top speed. So I really don't like to pit early, and in some tracks you can't pit early because if you pit too early, you have to do another pit stop, because even if you fill up the tank, it will not be enough to finish the track. Like this one, if I have to pit in the third lap, because if I pit in the second, I have to do another pit stop, and if I pit and I can't pit stop on the fourth lap because the fuel won't do. So it's pretty tight sometimes. Also, the fuel is tight in some tracks too, so I have to control using the fourth gear to not use as much fuel. Then finish. Now we get to the first really, I would say, run killer of the game. That is Germany. Germany, even being just the midpoint of the game, it's a really hard country. This first track I could have a lot of problems with it, so I'll try to concentrate here.
Yeah, one of the main issues of this track is the fact that it stays in a 3-lane during the whole race. It's really tough. There's a lot of really annoying turns. Some places we're going to have some blind spots where the AI could just pop up out of nowhere and you just hit him. But for the most part, this first track, Munich, is really difficult. The second one is a really technical circuit. It has a lot of turns, uphill sections, downhill sections. So you really need to focus. Then you have the third track, which is extremely difficult as well. I'll get to that later. And then finally we have Frankfurt, which is the last one, which is a little bit more easier than the other ones. It has a lot of straights, unlike these ones. Most of them also have pit stops. You have 3 pit stops in this country. It's really long, really exhausting. It takes a lot on the runner and the player.
The really big problem here for me is Black Forest, because Black Forest, the entrance to the pit is the most troll you will find the entire game, I guess. You can miss pit stop there pretty easily. So yeah, I'll just try to be careful not to screw up when I get there.
This is also one of the tracks where he could get one pit stop.
Yeah, I'm using manual marker.
And if he doesn't crash too much, he could get the one pit stop run. But most of the time, it's really difficult. Now, catching up to the first place, it's so much, let's say, a difference between them. It's really difficult to catch up.
At this track, you have to be really perfect to get the first place, because as you can see, I'm in second, but the first place is it's very much ahead of me. I don't know why, but this game, besides me and the other CPU down there, the CPU drivers always are in the same position, and the fastest CPU is always way ahead of the others. I really don't know why. So it's pretty hard to catch up on him. To the people talking about the gear changes, it's not that hard in this game, because you just have to change gears most of the time because you screw something up. Sometimes when you hit another car and have to want to downgrade to fourth gear to get better acceleration. But besides that, it's pretty simple. You just end up using fourth and fifth gear most of the time. If you don't hit anything and use the nitros correctly, you just have to cruise in fifth gear and be happy. At this particular track, I'm avoiding to use the fourth gear just to, and as you can see, my fuel is too low. If I use it the fourth gear too much, I would have to do another stop, and I don't want to do that. Now, this is the track that Moses was talking about. It's pretty technical. All of the turns, practically all of the turns are pretty sharp, and because my grip is so poor, I have to slow down a lot to make these turns. And I had the best start. I think I had the best start I could ever imagine in this track.
Yeah, this was amazing. It's really difficult to avoid the cars on that first turn because it's an uphill section, and then you have a downhill section, and you get so much speed that it's really difficult to avoid anything.
See, I have to slow down so much that the other CPUs, they catch up on me. This is one of the tracks that the white car has a lot of advantages because his grip is so much better. You can do the turns without slowing down too much.
And then midway through the track, they do the transition to day to night, and it's really difficult to see some of the signs. Sometimes you get surprised. So turning start a lot sooner than you expected, and you crash a lot if you're not practicing this track a lot. But usually if you don't like to practice IGT and like this game in general, you're definitely going to practice Germany and France a lot because they are the toughest countries on this game.
Also, I'm seeing the support of a lot of my friends Brazilian in chat. Thank you so much, guys, for being here, watching. Yeah, the speed in this game, it's not random. It's pretty accurate. The acceleration when you get the nitro boost here is pretty amazing with the red car, so that's why it seems just random, but it's really accelerating that fast.
You guys thought the Machu Picchu had a phallic this shape. This is one that with a lot of ease. It's really.
Oh, what did I just do? Okay, that was pretty bad.
And the pit stop that Furlim mentioned earlier, it's right on the tip of the, let's say, the leftmost section of the run, right on the tip, right in the middle of the turn. It's really easy to forget, and if you forget about it and you think you try to make on the next lap, you run out of fuel. There's no way to get back to it. So sometimes it's better like to go for 2 pit stops if you're not confident enough.
Yeah, there's like this up and down section, and right after it's the pit stop. It's a lot hard to see the entrance. It's no easy task to to get inside without hitting something. And sometimes you hit the entrance of the pit stop and it pushes you to the outside, and the only thing you can do the only thing you can do is cry but because it's a marathon, I will pit stop early and I hit another car. See, I'm really careful in the entrance because I'm not confident to get it every time.
Something that's really annoying about these up and down sections is that if a car spawns right as you're going down, it's basically impossible to avoid. It's just too much speed, and it's really difficult to avoid. You need to have some really godlike reflexes for that. This is one of the tougher races because of it, and if you crashes too much or if another car crashes into you, sometimes you get a huge bump of speed and then totally misses the pit stop because of it. And also what Furlim said about
Oh my goodness.
hitting the pit stop and then the silver barrels that pushes you out of the pit stop and then you basically run out of fuel and be crying out.
I went a little YOLO there to try to avoid the cars, but it was not worth it. I got way more outside of the track I wanted. And then there is that hitbox problem I said earlier. There's no way you can tell when you are going to hit the obstacles. Sometimes the corner of the hitbox hits, and sometimes you just pass through the obstacles. It's really weird.
This is also a track where you have like only 3 lanes to navigate, so it's unlike the next country where you have much wider sections of road. It gets really difficult.
Yeah.
Since this is the last lap and he has a little bit of you, he's going to.
Yeah, I got a
the pits.
pretty bad RNG in this track overall. I got a lot of multiple spawns of the cars in front of me. Now we still have Frankfurt in Germany. This is besides having 8 laps, you can do one pit stop in this track too, because the track isn't that long. Well, I'll try to do that if I don't mess up.
This track actually has like a very trollish aspect. After you exit the pit stop, they put a huge poster right on top of the exit, and if you're not holding right, you're going to hit it. And I remember a race when we first like picking this game up just for fun. Acting blind races or just races in general. And when I exit the pit stop here in our first race, I thought, oh man, am I going to use my last nitro and I'm going to use the boost all the way to the end, but then there was like this huge poster right on top of me and I lost all the speed and wasn't able to recuperate the nitro boost. So
yeah, I hope when I exit the pit stop it's not spawn me too close to the post. It's really a troll.
I think even the computer crashes into it sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll keep on looking at it just to have some mindful. Yeah, this is a pretty interesting track to be put in the end of the Germany country. It's pretty. I wouldn't say chill. There's still some few issues that have like to pay attention to, but other than that, this track is really easy, really fun,
Yeah.
and kind of sets the mood for the next country, which is Scandinavia. Even though it's Scandinavia, there is Denmark in it, which is a little bit odd since it's not technically Scandinavia. I don't know, maybe it is. I must have like missed some geography sessions, I don't know, lessons. But yeah, the Scandinavia, it's really, really easy, really fun to play. Lots of streets and some
Ooh,
ice
almost.
everywhere.
Dude, something really weird happened to me now. My driver, as you can see, the driver sometimes they talk. They had a little, like in HQs, I don't know how this is called in English, but they talk sometimes, and when you hit something, they just say "R" or something like that. And my driver just said like I hit something, but I didn't hit anything. I think I passed so close to the post that the game understood that I hit the post, and then the driver screamed, but I did not hit it. It was really weird. I don't know if you noticed it here.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
It
never
triggered
really noticed that
text box.
happening. Well, as you can see, I have pretty much the fuel counted to finish this race. So doing one stop here is pretty tight to the red car, but is very much possible. Also, I don't know if I try to show the glitch of the 2 places finish. I guess I can try to show when I'm on a track that I cannot game over. It's because there's not really a point of getting the 2 places if you are already in first, because you'll hit the finish line, and if you fail, you'll lose seconds. But just for the sake of the the run of the marathon, I guess I can try to show at least. Now,
So guys,
Scandinavia is a pretty simple country because you don't have to pit in any of the races, but also has some nasty turns on the tracks, especially this first one. So you just have to be a little careful, but it's not something that will kill your run.
something interesting about these tracks and those canals is that the trees just goes right through the concrete sometimes. And
Yeah.
it stays in there. It's really strange to look into. There was also a race, I think it's, I don't know if it's Finland or Norway, that has rocks all the way in the middle lane of the track, and you crash everywhere. Which is a little bit strange. Like, you would have thought that the organizers of the event would like clean the race, the road up for the races, but nope, they just let the rocks go everywhere in the middle of the street. Doesn't care.
Also, gotta love how the obstacles are glued to the ground. It's so much force that even when you hit, with a car in 300 kilometers per hour, the obstacles don't move an inch. Yeah, this country has a lot of short races. In this particular one, I don't like to use the nitro on the start because it has some kind of tricky turns at the beginning, and there is a big straight line section coming up right after this turn, so I like to use the nitros over here. The turn there you can do in full speed. You don't have to release the button. I only release the acceleration button sometimes to move better, to avoid some cars. The only thing you have to be a little bit careful on this track is it has a lot of posts in the outside. If you is just a little bit on the edge of the track, you can hit them. Like in this section when the track becomes narrower. Every time when I pass a car and I am a lot faster than the other car, the driver just trash talks. Oh, and I'm forgetting to show the glitch. I'm so dumb. I promise I'll try next track. Don't let me forget.
I'll try. This next track is actually really interesting. If you look up to the horizon, after the 180 turn that comes, I think at the later part of the race, you'll be able to see 5 suns in the same turn. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shows how lovely our solar system is.
Get out of my way, please. Please. Oh, come on. I have to be careful because this track has also some rocks and trees in the middle of the lanes of the track. I don't know what logic Oh my god, I'm sucking. Fortunately, my friend gave me a boost down there.
This track actually has a small section of water, which is I don't know if there's actually
there's no point of
different
getting water just running over there. It's you don't get a speed drop or anything like that. I don't really know. They just want to make the track seem.
Yeah, I guess they want to see like if you're passing through a river really fast, you basically Jesus your way over it. But I don't know. I really don't understand.
Jesus car.
Yeah, Jesus car. Right on this turn, if you look at the horizon, you see like 5 different suns.
Let's try. Ah, I couldn't made it. I guess I was really close.
Yeah, I think you need to go a little bit more to the left.
Yeah, it's not easy, very easy to do. It's a very precise precise position have to hit the finish line.
And then finally Oslo. A really
Yeah, I guess
short,
the
easy
easiest track of this country, even being the last.
Pretty cool mountains, straight from Bob Ross show, right on this track.
I shouldn't have used that controller there. I was too optimistic I wouldn't hit anything, and I failed. This track also has some troll rocks, and it's a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, there is one turn at the beginning that has like 7 lanes wide, but there's rocks all the way up to the middle section, so you have to stay really close to the inside so you don't hit anything. And it's hard to remember because both on professional and amateur difficulties, there is no rocks there, so you basically forget about it every time.
Yeah. I think in my PB I hit those rocks, actually. This guy is really pushing me.
Yeah, this blue car really wants to win.
Oh, let's try it again. And oh man, damn it. I guess I have to leave that for later, because now comes the other run killer and I guess the worst country of the run, that is France. So my goal here is just survive, I guess, because you can pretty much screw up in a lot of ways in those tracks. Paris, I guess it's fine, just some nasty turns, but overall it's pretty easy to get into qualification to the next track. But the following 2 tracks, I need to be very, very careful. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, better not hype too much the other 2 tracks, just to be safe. This track has, I don't know, nothing too much into it. It has like this section right here, it's really difficult. It has like 3 really tough turns, one after the other.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting 5th place before the end, because this track is really short. It's like less than 2 minutes. And since it's a championship, the cars go faster. So since there is not let's say a really good way, a good point to use the nitro, gets really difficult. If you start like to hit too many cars, you stay far behind from 5th place, and sometimes gets really tricky.
The place I like to use the nitros here is right after the 3rd turn. So because when you start the track, you have 2 sharp turns, one to the right and one to the left. Then right after you have pretty much 2 long straights, so you can use nitro there. Yeah, there's no way I can beat the white guy now. Well, I got it. I got it right now. As you can see, I got 2nd and 3rd right here. I can I don't know how to explain why this happens because I didn't really hit the start finish line this time, but it considered that I got the 2 positions.
Yeah,
And also,
basically the
and also
20th
I
place
start.
gets like
My position in the start is like I finished third, not second, so I start 1 position ahead. It's really funny.
okay. Here comes Nice, and this race is not nice at all. It gets really difficult.
Yeah,
Some sections.
Nice is not nice. It's
Yeah,
the motto of this
like
track.
it's like the best bun of this game. You have like this turn where you have like to go from the inside lane to the outside lane because you have like signs all over the turn, and
Yeah.
there's so much traffic in the first lap. You're bound to hit something during this race, and it's also really long. You have like to do a pit stop or two.
My start was kind of messy, but I guess it's okay now. I just don't have to miss the pit stop. Maybe I should do a 2 stop here to be safer. I don't know. Nah, I guess 1 stop is fine. Come on.
Yeah, the hard part of the pit stop here is that it's off right after the section where you have like to go from one lane to the other, and your instinct, since the signs are like shrinking up to the end of the tracks, you have like this instinct to go to the inside section of the turn, and then the pit stop is in the outside section, so you sometimes just miss the pit stop because of instinct. This
Yeah.
happened in races as well. I remember those times. Lots of ages.
Yeah, I just got really careful here because I couldn't miss the pit stop. Because that would be a game over for me. And also I returned in third, so that's not too bad. I'm pretty much safe now. These CPUs, man. Ah, that hit was my fault. And I guess the second and the first are really far away for some reason. Sometimes I really can't tell why the CPUs are so fast. Because I didn't screw up that much in this track for them to be that far away from me.
Sometimes it's just like the default setting for the championship. Maybe like they really want to make this track a challenge and not a rank killer.
Yeah.
Or like a playthrough killer for most people that play this game in this difficulty. So they really gave a boost to all the AIs to make it really difficult.
Okay. Now I guess we're going to the worst track of the run.
Yeah, here comes Bordeaux in France.
Be prepared to see a lot of grapes, or I don't know what what is those things that are in the corners of the track. The chat here can see and maybe decide what they want them to be.
We during our races, this track was a major run killer for most people because of the infamous grape signs, the green grape signs, those ones that you put on your table just to for decoration. And we care very, let's say, as I like to call it, the grape stage, and it's sticked up with our community to this day. And the worst part is not the way they look, but their hitbox. Their hitbox is humongous. It's basically take 30% off the lane where they are next to. So you basically have two lanes to navigate during this really tricky section of turns, and sometimes it's really difficult to avoid the cars
Yeah,
that spawn up right in
one thing I don't want to do
during
here
the turns.
is drive around the edges of the track because those those grapes or whatever they are, but they can be a real troll, like Moses said. And till now I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, this is also a really long track. You need to pit stop at least once, and
I think
it's
I'm gonna
really,
pit
really
now just
challenging.
for safety. I don't want to miss the pit stop again. But I guess I'm doing really fine.
Yeah, it was really clean. Just like in RPB, you get the fantastic group stage.
Yeah.
Went really well. As we get like closer to the second, like to the second half of the run, we get like less and less things to say. So
Yeah, there.
we'll get more quieter
Yeah,
for the next
I
runs.
think we pretty much explained all the mechanics of the game, all that we know of, at least, and the ones we take advantage, like the fourth gear and everything else. So I don't know if you guys have some questions, feel free to ask. I may not like be able to read chat, but if anything, Moses can read it to me, and I can answer you when I'm safe here.
Yeah, we didn't like really hunt for glitches. There's just this one scar glitch, I guess, that there was even before we was discovered, even before we started racing this. But I don't know if there's like a real need for a glitch like on, like, let's say Top Gear 2, where you get a bunch of money, go straight to the final country and beat the game. But I don't know if that would be as fun as competing on all tracks, having the feel that is friends.
Yeah. Besides,
Is really
besides
more
having
fun.
four cars to choose in this game, uh, you don't have really much more optimization to do like in Top Gear 2 that you have lots of things to buy. So you just get your car and run. So it's pretty much self-explanatory. Well, now the worst part is over, at least for me, because from now on the tracks are really friendly, they're not very hard, and there are just two more tracks that you need to pit stop. So I guess the run is safe. we won't have any major problems, we won't have any game overs. At least that was my goal, because you can mess up little things in this run, and that can just escalate a disqualification or out of fuel. And I'm pretty happy I didn't mess up anything major until now.
I think this track is Monaco.
Yes,
I
it's
don't
Monaco.
know. Yeah, they even put like the, let's say the tunnel.
The tunnel, yeah.
Somewhat, it's not as iconic as the real one. Even like the shape is somewhat resembles Monaco. So they tried to make it happen, but
Yeah.
with low resources, they could just go so far.
One thing I never did, I think it's to hit the wall of those tunnels to see what happened.
I'm not even sure if it's possible.
Yeah.
I really need to crash on those. It's just such a good place to hit a nitro, so I just focus on not crashing
Yeah.
anywhere. But I guess it could be
It's
interesting.
a really great straight to build up some speed that you don't even think on crashing things.
I could get some wall boosting like on F-Zero. That would be really interesting.
What? How did I hit that car? Yeah, okay. Now we have just Italy and Great Britain to finish the run. It's not much of a challenge. If I would pick the hardest country of the run, I would definitely pick France and then Germany. I don't know why they put the difficult tracks in the mid of the way of the game. Maybe they thought that these last tracks would be a challenge, and they ended up not being. I don't know.
This track actually resembles very weakly the Franco Z phase.
Frankie Z.
Just like the
Wow.
Franco Z good comparison.
Dude, that imagination. I never thought of that. Now that you
I
mention.
really need to compare it, but I can't type on chat right now. It'd be nice if someone could do
The
it.
Frankie Z track. But that will be my new split name for this track. It has to be.
So there is one question from the chat. Someone wanted to know how long you've been running this game.
How long? Well, we started running this game like 6 months ago. We just practiced it a little for a race in a marathon we did with the Brazilians. And then we didn't do much optimizations after that because we were a little bit frustrated that we couldn't get better times because we did the real time. The official time was real time that when we started running, and because of the CPU we couldn't get more optimizations, and then we were on kind of a hiatus and let the game a little bit left behind. But then Fizzle asked us if we could race in this marathon. So I decided to get the game and optimize it a little more. And so we saw that it had no point to continue being on real time. So we changed it to be in-game timer. So then we could actually grind better times at those tracks, and they would really make a difference. Then I guess it was like 2 months ago that I resumed practicing this game and making new strats. I got the red car and started practicing every track to see how much fuel I could use, how much I could, how much I would have to refuel when I had my pit stops, and some things like that. And unfortunately, I haven't had much time to grind this game at this current strats. I know it's like only the last month I've been grinding, so I can get much better at it. I guess I can improve my PB a lot. I don't know if Moses or the other guys will try to learn these strats too, but I think my sum of best, my PB now in in-game time, the sum of all in-game times is 1 hour 27 minutes and 11 seconds. But my sum of best is already 1 hour 25 minutes, so I can get a lot better. I can really get a much better run than my PB, but it depends on the RNG and everything, I guess. So I think that's it. I don't know if Moses wants to comment some more.
No, I think you covered it all. Basically, to learn this game and get at least a little bit of practice, took like 2 months or so for them to get used to championship and get used to red car and all the good stuff, the strats,
Yeah.
So that's probably...
Yeah, like right now I'm being a lot safer than I would with the fuel, because yeah, I pretty much calculated the amount of fuel you would need to finish every track. But as I said, if you have to use 4th gear a lot more than you intend, you can really have lots of problems with fuel. So if I started hitting a lot of cars in my way and losing a lot of speed, I would have to use 4th gear to accelerate better, because the 5th gear has terrible acceleration. So I like to be safe here because I don't want to risk a game over. And it's faster if you use 4th gear than keeping in 5th gear and saving fuel sometimes. So having a little extra fuel, you don't lose like 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds to refuel more, but in the end, for safety reasons, it's worth it. Like you'll see right now, I will finish, I guess, with 2 bars of fuel. If I was doing a run, I would normally finish with 0 or closer. I don't know. If the run is going well, maybe I go a little safer, but if the run is not going so well, I try to go a little bit riskier.
I think next is Sicily.
Yes.
Getting closer and closer to the end. Just cruising through Rome. Pretty simple track.
Yeah.
This cup in general, it's just huge straights, not much difficulty, really large tracks.
Yeah.
Wider, and I don't know.
Yeah, this last track I was on, it's pretty much a joke, I guess, because you don't have to do nothing. You can go. You can accelerate the full track. You don't have to let go of the acceleration button in any time, I guess. So it's pretty much only avoiding obstacles and the other cars. It should be a track much better, well suited for the beginning, but they decided to put it on the end. I don't know why. That was close. Sometimes you get that the other CPUs are faster and come to hit you behind. Sometimes it's nice because you get that boost on speed, but sometimes when you are a little bit to the edge of the track, they can push you to the obstacles, and that's the most throw they can get. I had that luck sometimes in my runs. Some sharp turns here. Now we're getting at nighttime. Was not supposed to hit that car.
So Big Brother asked how many more races are there. So after Sicily, there is one more race in Italy, and after that there's 4 more races on United Kingdom, and after that it's game for us.
Yeah.
So a little more 20 minutes because London, the first track on UK, is huge. It has 8 laps. It's a really big track, and will take about like 6 minutes to finish.
Yeah, London, it will come up next of this track, but it's the only track in the game that you are required to do a 2-stop strategy because it's a very long track and it has 8 laps, I guess. 8 or no, I'm pretty sure it's 8. So there's no way you can do 1-stop strategy with this car. I don't even know if you can do with the other cars. I don't remember if it's
can
possible.
with the white car.
Yeah, but it's
really well.
It's really
but
tight.
yeah, it's really tight indeed.
Like you, my goodness, I just hit the finish line. Sorry guys for sucking at this game.
Something that is funny is that the CPU cars, not the white car that is on the second player, but the other cars, the blue and the silver ones, if they collide with each other, they are just going to pass through each other. They don't have any collision, but they can hit you and you can hit them. It's interesting physics.
Yeah.
On the race. And you think you're hitting the behind of the car, but it's actually only one line right on the middle of the sprite that is actually, let's say, hittable. So even though it looks like it has a huge hitbox, but it's only like one line that is hitable. I don't know how to explain.
For those people that are asking, yes, we are from Brazil, me and Small Season. We are from the Hue country. So forgive us for not so perfect English if it's being a problem for you. But there are really good English classes around here. I'm pretty sure you can understand most of the things we are talking. Now we are starting London, and as you can see, the track is pretty long, and having 8 laps is pretty annoying. You can see that is London because of Big Ben on the background, or something close to the Big Ben.
It's a pretty iconic way to finish the game, starting in USA and then finishing in UK.
Yeah, I guess this first Top Gear was developed. I don't know if it was developed in the UK, so the United Kingdom was the last, and the Top Gear 2, oh my god, Top Gear 2 was developed on US, so the last country was US. Something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, something that you mentioned on the other live, on the results screen, there is that picture. Which circuit is it?
It's from the Detroit Formula 1 Grand Prix from 1988, I think. It's something around that time. It's a picture, it's a real picture taken from a real Formula 1 Grand Prix. Yeah, please.
I live in Happy Pier, also known as Porto Alegre.
Happy Pier.
Furlim is from the capital, it's from Brazil. Okay.
So we're coming for my first stop. Oh, your English has troubles too when you're English. That happens, dude. Portuguese is a really difficult language too. I don't recommend anyone trying to learn it. Things are going pretty well at this track because it's not a hard track, but it's long, so I have more chances to hit something or some other cars, but it's going pretty smooth until now.
Yeah, this track is so long that after you run for a while, it actually makes for like a huge muscle memory. You just cruise through the track. It's almost autopilot.
Yeah. I don't find it very hard to memorize the patterns of each track. I don't know if it's because I played this a lot as a kid, so the tracks are still in my memory. But I think it's not that hard. And it was really a shame that we don't live next to each other, so because if we could do a co-op run, two-player run, it should be much faster than waiting the CPU down there.
I wouldn't count on that. I would hit everywhere.
Why, man?
White card, the revenge.
Well, we could do a red versus white. I don't know.
I think it's fine the way it is right now. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, the music for this game is awesome. It's one of the things that made me really addicted to it. Some people don't agree with me, but I don't ever grow tired of listening to this soundtrack. Well, as you can see, 5 minutes is a really huge time for a track here, so it's just an indication of how long this track is, because you finish a lot of tracks in this game under 2 minutes, and then you have a 5-minute one.
I think after lap 1, you didn't crash anywhere. I don't recall at least. It was so cool.
But with that track, it's the last track that we have to pit stop. So basically, these last 3 tracks are just cruise to the finish and have a good time.
Speaking of the soundtrack, there was also a Brazilian developer team that made a cell phone game, I guess, called Horizons, I guess, or I don't remember the name of the race. I'm going to check up real quick, but that they actually got the composer of the Top Gear soundtrack to make the soundtrack for their game as well. And it's also a game that has this Top Gear-ish feel, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of Brazilians got really hyped, and I think it was widely accepted, even got some small popularity and some prizes here in Brazil. If you search on YouTube like remixes of this track, you'll see like a gigantic amount of videos. Mostly are Brazilian composers or just musicians from Brazil that just making arrangements of this game, especially the first track of the first race, which is like the most iconic of the game.
Yeah. If you notice, after this turn I'll make here, there are a few rocks right in the middle of the track. These rocks are so a really huge throw, because if you hit them, you lose all of your speed. And they are only there in championship difficulty. It's one of the obstacles that you don't find in the other difficulties of the run. Now Loch Ness. Loch Ness is interesting because you get to see the Loch Ness monster at the background, that black serpent they tried to make there. I don't know.
Yeah, they tried really hard.
and you have the signs.
The goofy face.
You have the signs to. I don't know what the sign says, but it's I think it's some kind of propaganda for the monster too.
You can see so many Loch Nesses in some of these turns. You see like 8 or 9 of them. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
They're a
So
family
sweet.
now.
Oh. Yeah, it's a huge family.
I think the signs, they're saying beware monster or something like that.
And after this race, we get to the final race. And oh my god.
Fallen high. Oh, please don't hit it. It was kind of terrible, but at least I don't hit the signs. I didn't hit the signs.
Omega 3 treatment hype. I mean, oh my god. It's like everyone gets this phone call. It's incredible. And sorry for that, guys. Just a scammer.
Well, as you can see, these last tracks are just smooth sailing. This last track indeed is not a hard one. It actually is really easy. But you just have one thing to be worried about, that it's your fuel. Because this track is long enough to burn out most of the fuel of the red car. And I don't really want to use the fourth gear here, because this track has 4 laps and I can run out of fuel and I don't have a pit stop to make. So I'll be a little bit careful here, just for the sake of finishing the run.
Yeah, something that I think we didn't mention too much. During downhill sections, you get a huge burst of speed, but on uphill sections, you don't lose quite as much speed as you
Yeah.
got on downhill sections. So that's something that it's interesting, but not like really fundamental to the run. It's just there. It's just part of the physics of the game. This race is also like really simple, like the Stone Rage. Has a lot of
There's nothing
where
that is a challenge. This track is not a challenge at all, but you have to just be careful about your fuel. It's the only thing that you have to control. And if you start hitting the obstacles and the cars, you can be in lots of problems. As you can see, my fuel is already very, very low and I still have 1 lap to go. So it's really tight. Maybe the game designers wanted to do this tight for the red car. They programmed a track that would use exactly the same amount of fuel that the red car uses in that period of time. But as you can see, I can barely make it. So after my my partner down there finishes his track, there will be a podium celebration, and that's when it will be time.
Congratulations for a really, really clean run. Besides, I think Rio was the biggest shot of the run. Other than that, was extremely clean.
Yeah,
Really nice.
it was even a 1:48, 46:38 real time, which is really, really good. The CPU didn't show me that much, so the real time would be, if you don't screw up a lot, it would be between 1 hour 46 and 1 hour 48. So 1 hour 46:38 is really, really good. I don't know, did you manage to keep up the in-game times?
I didn't got like 3 of them on the first 2 cups, and I was like, screw that.
No, it's
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess this would be like a 1:28 or something in 1 hour 28 in-game timer, because yeah, I had some very good tracks, but I also screwed up a lot in Rio, and I think other tracks I couldn't get good times. But I'm very happy I didn't mess up a lot, so this game can be pretty unforgiving. Sometimes if you get a little bit distracted, you'll start hitting things and lose speed, and that can kill your run. So you already saw the great Top Gear ending. That was that podium scene, and that's all. They didn't even program the credits. So I guess it's it. I don't have anything else to show here.
Yeah, we showed the glitch. We showed all the tracks.
I managed to show the glitch. Finish the run. Thanks.
And you were underestimated by a lot, despite the difficult.
Yeah, I got the estimate that high because I thought that I could mess up on some track and I had to do it again, or the entire country again, just to be safe.
Sure.
It went pretty well for me, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much, Physio, for this marathon. SNES is one
Yeah,
of my
thanks.
favorite consoles of all time. It's a shame that I'm too busy this week to follow more of the runs, but it's really awesome. I hope that there are more of these marathons in the future.
Well, it seems pretty successful so far. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this pop up again next year.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do miss any of the runs, we're going to put this stuff all up on YouTube. We'll make a giant playlist and you can watch all this stuff.
Sure.
Let it run for days.
Thanks. And thank you very much for the support in chat. Can I just talk a little bit about the Brazilian community? I don't know if there are more Brazilians in
You
chat.
may.
Yeah,
We have
because
plenty of time.
because we are quite a few runners, but we do have a Brazilian community. So if there are more Brazilians in chat that don't really know about us, we have a Facebook page, we have a channel, and we try to do marathons as long as we can. Like, we are trying to do more marathons this year. Theme marathons like Mario marathons, Zelda marathons, and every 6 months we try to do a big marathon too. Speedrun is not as popular here in Brazil, but we are trying to do our best job to make it more popular. So if there are anyone in chat that can want to check on us, if you go to my channel, you have the link to the community and the channel on my channel description. So I guess that's it.
Thanks
Alright.
a lot for having us.
What?
Well, thanks for this run, and we've got coming up next. We actually are way early. These guys finished pretty far ahead of schedule. The next run's not scheduled to start until 3.